Welcome, my dear students. I'm very happy to welcome you all for this session. In this session, you are going to learn chapter 12 DNS, Domain Name System. So, what are all the contents we are going to see for this chapter? These are all the contents we are going to discuss today. Introduction about this DNS, overview of DNS, IP address. What are the types of types of IP address are there? URL, types of URL, DNS components, how many components are there in DNS. And next one is label domain name. What are the basic rules for creating domain names, and what are the generic top level domain names are there? What are the country top level domain names are there? Resolver, finally how DNS works. These are all the topics we are going to cover from this chapter. First, we are going to see introduction. On those days, people have access to the websites. People have access to the websites with the help of IP address only. But it was very difficult to remind an individual IP address. For example, if you are having a computer, if anyone asks your computer IP address, within a fraction of a second, it is very difficult to say your computer's IP address. So, accessing a website with the help of an IP address is very difficult. So that they have created DNS, domain name system. This domain name system, which is used to map with IP addresses. The domain name systems were created and mapped with IP addresses. After creating the domain name system, each and every domain name system has unique IP address. So those domain names were mapped with IP addresses. How we are saving contact numbers in our mobile phone number with the name. Similarly, domain name systems are mapped with or stored with its own specific IP addresses. So domain name system maintains all the directory of domain names and help us to access the websites using domain host names. Nowadays we are accessing the websites with domain names instead of IP addresses. www.google.com, it is the best example for domain name. Next one is overview of DNS. For communication takes place, information passes through 7 layers. Already I have taught you while taught the 11th lesson OSI layers. In OSI, open source interconnection, 7 layers are there. For communication takes place, the information should passes through the 7 layers only. So application layer is one among them. Already I have explained you the 7 layers of OSI. Application layer is one among them. In the application layer, several applications are there. In the application layer, several applications are there. DNS, domain name system, is one among them. Already I have explained you what are the layers are there in OSI. 7 layers are there in OSI. Among the 7 layers, application layer is one among them. For the application layer, several applications are there, which means several protocols are there. Among the several applications or protocols, DNS, domain name system, is one among them. So the application layers, applications are HTTP, FTP, Telnet, SMTP, DNS. The DNS is one among them. So now internet is based on IP addresses, not domain name. Now internet is based on IP addresses, not domain name based. So the domain name which is used to map with the IP addresses and finally we can access the websites. DNS provides the domain name to IP address mapping through name servers. For the DNS, many components are there. Name server is one among them. The name server help us to mapping the domain name to IP address. To know more about DNS working, we must first know what is IP addresses, what is URL, what are the DNS components are there. Let us see one by one. While typing a web address, for example www.google.com or www.tnschools.gov.in, DNS translate it into a IP address, into a machine friendly IP address. If you are typing www.google.com on the web search engine or on the search bar, the domain name system DNS translates the domain name into a machine friendly IP address. After translating the IP address, it will redirect you, it will direct you to the website. And next one is IP address. It is a logical address. IP address is a simply logical address in network layer. Already I have explained you, in network layer only IP address is there, internet protocol is there, and other protocols are protocols of network layers are RARP, ARP, ICMP, IGMP. Among these, IP address is one among them. And how we are getting door number in a apartment. Similarly, IP address is the address for any host. The IP address which is used to find the host system in the whole network. Due to increase in the number of systems in a network, there is a need of more addresses. If an apartment has many number of flats, if an apartment is going to increase the flats, they have to increase the door numbers. Similarly, due to increase the number of computers in a network, it needs more addresses. Due to avoid this complexity, we have two types of IP addresses. One is IPv4, IPv version 4, another one is IPv6, IPv version 6. Now I am going to explain about IPv4 address. IPv4 address is a 32-bit unique address given to a computer system. No two system has the same IP address. If you have given same IP address for two systems within a network, at that time IP confliction will be there. To avoid the IP confliction, we have to give different unique 32-bit address for each and every computer. If a network has P number of connections, in that network P number of IP addresses will be there. So it is quite interesting. If a network has 10 number of systems, if a network has 10 computers, the network must have 10 IP addresses. An address space is the total number of addresses that can be made by that protocol. It is determined by the number of bits that the protocol use. How we are determining the bits? How many number of protocols it used, the same number of bits can be used to determine the IP address. If the protocol uses n bits, then the address space of that protocol would be 2 power n addresses. So because of 32-bit IPv4, we can form 2 power 32 addresses. For a IPv4 protocol, I mean IPv4 addresses. So next one is, there are two ways to represent the IP address. We can represent the IPv4 addresses in two ways. One is binary notation, second one is dotted decimal notation. In binary notation, the addresses are expressed as 32 binary values. And next one is, in dotted decimal notation, the addresses is written in decimal format separated by dots. Example 128.143.137.144. Next one is IPv4 addresses. We have discussed about IPv4 address. Next one is IPv6 address. IPv6 address is a 128-bit unique address given to a computer system. No, in our country, no one is using IPv6. IPv6 is for research. They are using IPv6 address for research area only. The number of addresses that can be formed in IPv6 is 2 power 128. In IPv6 address, the 128 bits are divided into 4, divided into 8 16 bits blocks, 8 16-bit blocks. Each block is then changed into 4-digit hexadecimal numbers separated by colon symbols. The 128 bits are divided into 8 16-bit blocks. Each block is then divided, then changed into 4-digit hexadecimal numbers separated by colon symbols. In your book, they have a given small example. So next one is URL. The expansion of URL is Uniform Resource Locator. The Uniform Resource Locator URL is made up of 4 parts. The first part is protocol, the second part is domain name or host name, the third part is folders, and the fourth part is file name with the extension. So see here, this is the first part, HTTPS protocol. Next one is in.search.yahoo.com, that is domain name or host name. Next one is file name. From YHS web, HSPRT, HSPART, these are all known as file name. Host name, sorry, not host name, folder name. Finally, file name ends with the extension of the file, .jpg, like that. So next one is URL type. We can divide the URL types into two. One is absolute URL, second one is relative URL. Absolute URL is nothing but the complete address of a website. It includes protocol, domain name, host name, folder, and the file name. How we are going to write postal address? If you want to write a letter to your friend, if the letter should reach your friend, it should have correct postal address. Like that, if you are going to enter an absolute URL address, it should contain all the 4 parts. If you leave any one among the 4 parts, it never directs you to the correct website. This is what known as absolute URL. The second one is relative URL. It is the partial address of the document. It is nothing but the relative URL is the partial address of a document in the internet. A relative URL contains only the file name or the file name with the folder name. Absolute URL contains all the 4 parts, but here relative URL contains only the file name or file name with the folder name. We can use this type of URL when the file is on the same server related to the original document. When we can use the relative URL? If you are having any document in our own server, at the time only we can use relative URL. Other times we are not able to use relative URL. If you are going to search anything from servers across the world, at that time you have to give absolute URL only. Next one is DNS components. There are three important DNS components are there. I mean, in the domain name system, they are namespace, name server, zone. Now we are going to see namespace. The domain names already I have explained you. It must be very unique and appropriate. The name should be selected from the namespace only. The domain name should be selected from a namespace. The namespace can be organized in two ways. One is flat namespace, another one is hierarchical namespace. Flat namespace, first one is flat namespace. It is nothing. Flat namespace is where the name is assigned to the IP address. What is the name we are going to assign to IP address? That is what known as flat namespace. They do not have any specific structure. The flat namespace do not have any specific structure. For example, it do not have any specific structure. For example, www.https google.com, like that. In this flat name space, some meaningful names are being given to the IP address for accessing. For accessing the flat name space, some meaningful names are being given to the IP addresses. The major disadvantages of flat namespace is that they cannot be used in large systems. We are not able to use the flat namespace in a large system because they need to be accessed and controlled centrally to avoid ambiguity and redundancy. But it is difficult in the flat name system. To avoid this major disadvantage, hierarchical namespace is used in large. We can use hierarchical namespace in large system. Hierarchical namespace is nothing but a new one is derived from the old one. That is what a hierarchical namespace. So here the hierarchical namespace is as like as URL. The first part may represent the nature of organization. From right to left we have to see the hierarchical namespace. So the first part is nature of the organization .com or .edu .ac, like that. The second part may represent the name of the organization. For example, goldengates.edu. That is what edu is represent the first part. It is nature of the organization. So Golden Gates is the educational institution. Second one is the second part may represent the name of the organization. Golden Gates is the name of the organization. And third part may represent the department of the organization. What is the department of this one? And this is how we have to use hierarchical namespace. In this way, the power to control the namespace can be decentralized. It is not a decentralized one. Hierarchical namespace is not decentralized one. It is a centralized. The centralized authority can be given to the nature of the name of the organization and so on. To achieve hierarchical namespace, domain namespace was designed. To achieve the hierarchical namespace, first we have to design the domain namespace. And next one is, what is domain namespace? We are going to design the domain namespace, or how we can design the domain namespace is going to see now. Domain namespace was designed to achieve hierarchical namespace. Already I have explained you. If you want to achieve the hierarchical namespace, we have to design the domain namespace. In this, the names are represented as a tree, as a tree structure with root element on the top, and this tree can have maximum of 128 levels starting from the root element, taking with the level 0 to 127 itself. So see here, to achieve the hierarchical namespace, first we have to design the domain namespace. In this, the domain names, in this the names are represented as tree structure. This is what known as tree structure, and this is called root level 01. It has 128 levels starting from 0 to 127. So when you read a website address, we have to see the parts from right to left. So at the end of right side a dot will be there, that is what called as root, that is what called as root. Next one, this is what known as nature of the organization, arpa.com, .edu, .org, .ad, .zw, these are the nature of the organization. Next one is name of the organization. Here we can see name of the organization. So represent the domain name space where the root element is present at the topmost level. Root element is the topmost level. Next one is root element always represents the null, which means doesn't have any string because dot only will be there. The next level to the root element is node, children of root element. Each node in the tree has a label. Each node in the tree has a label. This is also known as a label. What we are going to give here, that is also known as a label. So each node has a label. Each node in the tree has a label and a domain name. So next one is what is label? It is a string. What is the name we are going to assign a website? The whole thing is known as label. So it must have 63 characters. It must have 63 characters. So for giving a website, minimum 2 characters will be there. Maximum 63 characters should be there. So here domain is a subtree in domain name space tree structure. Domain is a subtree in domain name space tree structure. The domain can be further divided into subdomains. So see here, this is what root. In root null string will be there, which means only dot will be there. Next one is .edu, domain name, it is also domain name, and this is also domain name, this is also domain name. In hierarchical domain namespace, hierarchical namespace, this is the first part. This is the first part. The first part represents the nature of the organization, which means educational institution. It is also known as a label. It is also known as a label. The entire thing, this is what known as domain name. This is what known as domain name. And this is the FHDA. It is nothing. This is the name of the organization. Name of the organization. And next one is the third part. It may represent the department. What is the department? From the name of the organization, which department? CSE from Golden Gates, like that. This is what called as label. This is what called as the entire label. The entire label must have 63 characters. So what is label is nothing but what is the website address name we are going to assign to a website, that is what called as label. It should contain 63 characters. So next one is domain name. It is a sequence of labels. So this is what called as domain name. It is a sequence of labels. Sequence is nothing but numbers one by one. So domain name is a sequence of labels. See here, this is the first sequence, second sequence, third sequence, and fourth sequence. Sequence of labels. And each and every label should be separated by dots. See here, challenger.atc.fhda.edu. So each and every label should separated by dot. The domain name is always read from the lower level to higher level. When you are going to read the domain name, it should read from lower level to higher level, that is from the leaf node to root node, since the root node always represent null string. When you are going to read the domain name, when you are going to read a website name, we have to read from left to right. But when you are going to see the root, if you want to see the website address from root, at that time you have to see the website address from right to left. But when you are going to read a website address, at that time you have to read the website address from left to right. All the domain name ending with a dot. And next one is basic rules of domain names. What are the basic rules when you are going to create a domain name? What are the basic rules we have to follow when we are going to create domain names? It should contain alphabets as well as numbers. It may contain alphabets through A to Z. I mean small letters, lower cases from A to Z, and it may contain numbers from 0 to 9. And hyphens are allowed. Hyphens means small lines, that is also allowed, but hyphens cannot be used as a first character. You are not able to use the hyphens as a first character of a domain name. The next one is spaces are not allowed within a website. Spaces are not allowed. Special symbols are not permitted. You are not able to give special symbols as a name, or special symbols consist within a name are not permitted within a domain name. The next one is domain names have minimum length of 2 and maximum length of 63 characters. The entire name may be at most 253 characters long. The entire name of the domain, which means URL, it must be at most of 253 characters, but the domain name at the end of the .edu or at the end of the root, the domain name uh, length in minimum is 2, maximum is 63 characters. So next one is generic top level domain names. Generic top level domain is the part of domain names. Generic top level domains are used for generic purpose, are maintained by IANA. These are all the generic top level domains. .com is for commercial organizations, edu is for educational institutions, gov is for government uh, uses, mil is for military groups, .org for non-profit organizations, which means NGOs. Next one, .net is for networking organizations, info is for information service providers. So see here, root level, root is always ends with dot, so it is null string because it only can have a dot, it doesn't have any strings. So next one is nature of the organization, and next one is name of the organization. Second level domains, name of the organization, and the third one is subdomains. And next one is country top level domain names. Each and every country can have domain names. If we are accessing any websites belongs to India, that could ends with .in. See here, if any website is dot with or ends with .in, if any website ends with or finished with .in, that could belongs to India website, and if it is finished with the US, that could be belongs to United States of America. FR means France, UK means United Kingdom, CA means Canada, AU means Australia, LK means Sri Lanka, BD means Bangladesh, CN means China, PK means Pakistan, JP means Japan, SG means Singapore. So next one is name servers. So what is server? Here first we have to know server, then only we have to know say name server. So server, it is a quite large machine. A single hard disk is not enough to store large information, so that we need a server to store large information. So like that, around the world, across the world, so many name spaces are there, so many domain names are there. So to store all the domain names, we need a name server. We need a name server. This is what called as name server. So single system would be inefficient. Single system is not efficient to store such a large amount or huge amount of name servers. I mean domain names. So that they need a server to store all the domain names. So already we have see, we have saw DNS also allows domain names to be further divided into subdomains. By this, the solution to the problem is obtained. The hierarchy of server is also maintained. Name servers are used to store data and provide it to clients when queried by them or by the users. When you are going to access any websites, first your request is sent to the name server. The name server which will map your domain name with its corresponding IP address. And then only the exact website directs you. And next one is, it is the main part of domain name system. Name server is the main part of domain name system, which is used to translate the domain names into IP addresses, because the name server only contains the domain names in it. Name server contains the DNS database, domain name database. Database is nothing but, already I have explained you, it is a collection of data. It is a collection of data. So name server contains the domain name across the world or around the world, which consists of domain names and their corresponding IP addresses. And after giving the IP address, it will after giving the domain name, it will map the domain name with its corresponding IP address within the server. After, it will redirect the websites to your page. And next one is types of name servers. What are the types of name servers are there? There are three types of name servers are there, controlled by the entire these three name servers are used to control the entire domain name system. First one is root name server. This is the top level server which contains entire DNS tree, maintained by ICANN. There are 13 servers across the world. 13 servers are there for ICANN to maintain the entire DNS tree. Next one is primary or master name server. It contains zone resource records. It contains zone resource record is nothing but, it contains records for India individually, Pakistan individually, Bangladesh individually, like that. This is what known as zone. These records are updated by domain name holders such as organizations. Some organizations can update the records. Some government official organizations can update the records. Next one is secondary or slave name servers. It is contains a copy of primary server files. What are the records contained by the primary or master name server? Those records contained as a copy by secondary slave or secondary or slave name servers. But this secondary slave name server doesn't have any authority to update the records. Instead of that, they can reduce the workload of master by serve the by the what giving answers for the queries. Next one, we are going to see zone. What is zone? The entire namespace is divided into many different zones. The entire namespace is divided into many different zones. It is the area up to which the server has access. So within a server, what is the coverage area? That is what known as here server. For example, within our school, if we are having a server, within the school only we can access the server. That is what called as zone. Apart from the zone, we are not able to access it. So zone is defined as a group of contiguous domains and subdomains. Zone is nothing but, it is a group of contiguous domains and subdomains. If the zone has a single domain, then zone and domain are the same. If the zone has a single name, then zone and domain are the same. Every zone has a server which contains a database called zone file. So each and every zone has its own server. It contains a database, that is the database called as a zone file. Using the zone file, we can access the DNS server, replies the queries about host in its zone. Using the database, which means zone file only, based on the DNS server, it will reply the queries about the host in its zone. Within the zone, if you are using any host, for the queries of the host, the DNS replies. There are two copies of zone files available. One is master, another one is slave file. So let's recap zone. So you have to read the recap zone also, because some important 1 marks might be asked from this recap zone. So next one is resolver. What is resolver? So resolver, which is used to resolver is it is a type of tool within name server. The resolver, which is used to map the domain name and IP address. If a host system needs to map domain name to IP address or vice versa according to the call, and that work is done by the resolver. So the mapping process of a domain name to IP address is handled by the resolver only. So the resolver either asks the server to provide information about IP address after giving the domain name space into the search engine, search bar. The search bar will redirect the domain name to name server, and the name server, first the address will directs to the resolver only. After giving the domain name, the resolver asks the server to provide the information about IP address of the particular domain name. If it doesn't have any information about the IP address for the corresponding domain name, it will send error message. The page could not be loaded. Like that, it will gives an error message. Once the resolver receives the mapping, it checks whether it is an error or a resolution, and then only it provides the result according to that. If the domain name is not mapping with its IP address, it will produce an error. Suppose if the domain name is correctly mapped with the IP address, it will redirect the website to our web browser, to the client's web browser. Next one is how DNS works. This is what the last part of this lesson. When the user enters URL, consists of protocols, domain name, folder name, file name. Already I have explained you, the URL is made up of 4 parts: protocol, domain name, folder name, and file name. The system first checks its DNS cache for the corresponding IP address. DNS cache is there. It is also a type of memory. Then only the corresponding IP address is found within the DNS cache. The information is retrieved from the cache memory, DNS cache memory. If the IP address is not found within the DNS cache, the system needs to query the resolver about the IP address. When you access a website with the help of a domain name space, DNS cache will be there. From the DNS cache, the domain name will map to a IP address. If an IP address is not found within DNS cache, then it will send a it will send a query. The DNS will send a query to the resolver about the IP address from the internet service provider. So many resolver are there. For each and every name server, many resolver will be there. Which server contain the DNS, domain name system, or IP address? From the server from the resolver will retrieve the IP address for your domain name space. After retrieving the IP address for your corresponding domain name space, the exact website will redirect or direct to our web browser. This is how the DNS works. So students, I hope you all understand the concepts very well. If you have any doubts, make a note of it. Thank you all.